Da 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 da. What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes. Get those notifications out. Let people know I've gone live. In the meantime, if you've never popped into one of my lives before, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. I am a little bit, what do you call that? Discombobulated because my desk is such a mess. I've just got it at that perfect level so that you can't see it. So it just all kind of looks tidy in that. But in truth, it isn't. And look at, you can tell just for the fact that my cat's temptations are sitting there, her little treats. Oh my goodness, I got juice, I got coffee, I got phones, I've got a calendar sitting here. I have been working on my trip, you guys, for this September. Things are kind of up in the air. I am still moving forward exactly like I've got the dates right, confident that, everything is going to work out just perfectly. No matter how it is, everything's always good, right? But the less wrenches and rocks and pebbles being thrown and kicked around in my engine, the better. So I'm just kind of looking at the parks I'm choosing, and I'm looking at the trip I took last year. And sometimes we find our greatest lessons in the repeat. And I have been taking these trips for decades. In Ontario, it's probably been about a decade. Every year, I have rented a car or I've had my own car and I've loaded it off, up and off I go. I am actually in the top 10% of Google Guides. I work in Google Maps and I love doing the reviews. I love uploading the pictures of the park sites that I visit. And I love promoting what I love to do because I think it's something that benefits everybody. You can find something in camping and enjoying the provincial parks. Everybody could find something, whether you just want to sit on a bench, whether it's just looking at a beautiful lake. Maybe you don't like hiking, right? But maybe you love learning about the history of different areas. Maybe you just love going for the drives. For me, growing up as a kid, oh my goodness, the country drives were everything. And then they were everything, right? But it is in that mix of good and probably unpreferred that it is a really good balance. It's a good balance for us, right? Because it keeps us on our toes. And, lots of us would have preferred not to be on our toes, not to be so hyper vigilant in our lives. But now that those experiences are experiences in the past, those little tools we picked up in those experiences, they become very handy dandy in our adult lives. And, they're experiences and tools that we've gained, through the difficulties that we've, maybe had to endure, put up with, right? That maybe we didn't want to in the moment, but, now that those moments are over, we have these experiences that offer up a little bit of comfort, a little bit of security, maybe. Maybe we become codependent on these gifts that we picked up along the way. For myself, all those experiences in my young adulthood, in those jobs that I had, they were all opportunities for me to gain experiences. And a lot of those experiences and those tools that I picked up along the way, they helped me so much on YouTube, right? Being able to sit here and have conversations, to be able to have that experience as being a Google guide and a member of the Google community. And if you guys don't know, YouTube is actually part of that Google community. You know, my securities, my brand, my lessons, my tracking of these trips that I'm doing in the itinerary. It's all built up within the Google network. And I am so privileged, I think. I really do believe it's a privilege to belong to such a community. I have a very small community, and yet my brand has been monetized for over 10 years now. I think I can honestly say. And that's the proof, that's the evidence in that relationship. Right? They're not saying, oh, Cindy, you're not getting thousands of subscribers and thousands of views every single day. Give us back that monetization. That's a hard word for me. Actually, in that relationship with Google, this is actually a certificate. It says Google on the front, but if you were to turn it around, it says congratulations, welcome to YouTube. You're officially monetized. You got your hours in, you got your viewers in. I was so proud of myself when I got this, and I always kept it in mind. You know, actually where this all started. And it all started in this relationship that I had. And I allowed myself to be pulled in. And I allowed myself to be pulled in and kind of taught Google's mission statement. If I wanted to be a part of Google, right, their mission statement is top focused in how I represent myself, and how grateful and how lucky am I that part of their mission statement is to give people like me a platform where I can have a say, right? Where I could be seen. And, again, I wasn't super thrilled about being seen. But Google made that process so easy for me because they knew it was something that had to happen, right? In the lessons that I have acquired along in my path, there were a lot of hiccups along the way. Some of them unintentionally, some of them intentionally, and some of them even created by myself, being my own instigator, being my not my own enemy, unintentionally, maybe, but that's with all of us in stumbling along, looking for answers in our life, making bad choices, making good choices, just stumbling along. And, how terrible would it be if we beat ourselves down for making mistakes, right? There are lots of people out there that have got 3 or 4 weddings under their belt, right? How fair would that be for any of us to judge that? Because we should be allowed to make mistakes, and we live in an age where that's acceptable. And yet, right, lots of us are, what do they call those? Prudes. Like we're very prudish in our lineage, in our traditions, in our cultures. And even if something is legal, right, it's still not acceptable. But it can only be dissolved in talking, time, and crying. The same thing that helps us resolve grief and heartbreak. Those are the exact same tools that we need in that movement, because sometimes, we can have the answers, right? We can have those answers, but sometimes it's in the timing of things. I tell you, if I had missed this generation, I would have done my family, I do believe. And when I say my family, I'm saying my bloodline moving forward, my nieces, my nephews, right? Their families going forward. I would have done such a great unservice. And going even deeper than that, I'm going to say, you know, for what possibly I was meant to bring to the table, that if it wasn't for this digital age, if it wasn't for that relationship, right, that I had built with Google, and in some of those relationships uh, that I knew were very important in my movement, that if I didn't recognize those and nurture those and protect those and shine on those, even if they didn't even know it, that, that was protected, right? And it's so interesting that, that I don't recognize a lot of those lessons that were meant for me, that somehow they make their way across my path. All right, sometimes I don't want to munch on them. Sometimes it's not what I want to hear. Sometimes that's not the direction I want to go on in. That's not the persona that I want to put out to the world. But because I'm willing, and because in those experiences that I have, and in those relationships that I have, that I trust, right? Because they have brought me forward, right? They have shown me in the evidence of my own life that it could be done. That somehow we build a little bit, maybe it's not friendship, maybe it's loyalty, maybe it's just trust, right? But all three of those things are really good things. And I can move. I can move in that, knowing that if it doesn't work, I can move within that in a different direction. And that direction won't be a 360 or a 180-degree turn. Might only be a 45-degree turn, because I'm in that block and not in all these other blocks in my life. Really interesting. Before I hit that live button, I said, okay, you guys, we're going live. I don't have a topic. I looked at just the first page of my notes. And today, I've just been working on those campsites. And yet, soon as I hit that live button, that conversation, it just kind of flowed in. And it wasn't anything that I had touched on base today. Maybe, right? But it is in that repeat, I'm sure, because the lessons that I'm in now, right, they're kind of, oh, really? This is how it feels for me, because we're in it again, right? But we're tying up the loose ends. We're paying a little bit closer attention to this part of the conversation, because this part of the conversation got your eye, got your mind, and everything in the space of this and this, you missed that. And so it's not that you didn't pick up lessons, you just might not have picked it up clearly to the extent that we what really want to delve into, right? Right? Just like Michael Jordan, very best of the best. I'm going to be the very best of the best in what I do too, right? And whether I want to go, oh no, not that, or not again, right? It's got to be done. It's got to be done. You guys, I'm making it a short one tonight because it has been a day, and I have been in that contemplation, and it's been a good day, right? Look at my birds up on my wall. They're 3D. They look absolutely amazing. I love them. My sister gave them to me. Okay, you guys, have a great night or have a great day, and we'll see you.